Live video starting. Hello, everyone. I think I'm live. It looks like I'm live. Okay, so welcome. I'm trying to get all this live stuff down because it's just easier not to have to upload later. So anyway, but yay, we're going to talk about our sky blue color challenge. So I want to make sure that we do that. Oh, I got to get this over here. So I have two cameras set up like normal, but I also have, because this is live, I have comments. So if you have a comment, we can answer those questions, which I'm very excited about. So let's look at our color challenge. And I'm going to try to do, there we go. Oh, good. Yay. So I got picture-in-picture going too. So yay, you'll see both. So this week, of course, I pulled out of our Crayola box, which, look, we're getting less crayons in it. So that's kind of exciting. So I pulled out of our Crayola box Sky Blue, which as a kid, I just remember Sky Blue being a big old favorite. Oh my gosh, I colored with this a lot as a kid. And I think it was the most used because you colored the sky. It told you what it was, so you colored the sky. Isn't that funny? I like sky blue. Sky blue. Okay, and this is week 8. We've been doing this for 8 weeks. That's crazy. So it is it's pretty close, but it is lighter than the color which I think we've seen a lot. So I did pull some sky blue. Oh, look, I'm almost exactly. Look at that sky blue right there. I think that's pretty close. So I did pull some fabric from Fabrics. When I first saw the sky blue too, I have to admit, that's a little more blue though, isn't it? But it did remind me of all the 30s, like the 30s prints. So this was in my stash and I thought, I think that it just, to me, it's got that little 30s look to it. This seems to be more sky blue, but that's got a little green in it. This is more true blue. And I think anytime I think of 30s prints, I totally think of red, yellow, and blue. It's makes sense to me that you're going to see red, yellow, and blue together. So let's keep these two out. But a classic color combination for a quilt. And I do think that we just theoretically kind of assign red, yellow, and blue to more juvenile stuff. And I think it can be very sophisticated if done right. So in fact, my favorite quilt in the world done by a professional quilter is done by Sharon Schomburg, and it's red, yellow, and blue. And it is so sophisticated. It is just a stunning quilt. And so don't pigeonhole any color. I mean, I think if we've learned anything for the last 8 weeks, we've learned don't pigeonhole any color to be, kind of that's the only way it's going to be kind of thing. The other one that I pulled, and this is probably close to sky blue, a little bit. Yeah, it's got that in it. The other one that I pulled was this, which I thought was a really interesting print. This was done, and I'm not going to be able to tell you who, but in, what was that fashion runway, like reality show? Runway something. One of the winners one year designed fabric, and this was the fabric that he designed, and it was kind of for the modern, quilter. And I want to say this is maybe 15 years ago. This is an old print. But I find it interesting because he really pulled a lot of unusual colors that you didn't want to associate. Let me open it up. He really pulled a lot of the usual colors that I think you don't necessarily want to associate that we've commonly put together. But look at this from a standpoint of what we just talked about. Yellow, blue, and that's a red. It's a pink red, but it is still a red. And yet he puts this brown in here. I mean, to me, this is a very specific look. But it does have more sophistication than what I think people assume with just red, yellow, and blue. And this definitely has that sky blue in it. So I thought that was really pretty. And I think that anytime I think of sky blue, I really would kind of I love it with these greens. I love blue and green together. That's a really common color combination. And that's what I guess I was thinking with this, is that you've got this sky blue, although that's a little purpley blue kind of thing, but I would definitely marry these together. I'm going to keep this, but I would definitely marry those three together. Those make me very happy. With the greens, and again, this is analogous. So you're looking at the green is next to the blue on our color wheel. So we're going to see those always go together. I got a new cup. So I may have shown this to you already, but I'm on the board of the Southeast Quilt and Textile Museum. And you should come, if you come down, you should go. Anyway, I got a catch in my throat for some reason. There's a lot of stuff blooming in Georgia. A lot of stuff. And I don't have allergies. I don't have allergies. Which is true. Oh, and I found this. This was, I thought, really interesting. So this is one of those Project Runway. Thank you, Lisa. It was called Project Runway. You're right. I knew there was a project something. Okay. This panel totally cracked me up, so I bought it. I kind of have a thing for panels, I've decided. I buy them, and I'm like, what am I going to do with them? But I think during the COVID year, I don't know what else to call it, the COVID year, when we all stayed home, I found myself cutting up and sewing a lot of panels. And so I probably made 3 or 4 panel quilts, and I really think that I was like, how do I not make this look like a panel? So when I was looking for sky blue stuff, this had that blue in it right here. And I was like, huh, what colors did they put with sky blue? So this is, a designer saying all of these colors can go with sky blue. And it's big enough I'm going to actually frame it. But don't you think this is cute? Sometimes life stinks with the little skunk. Let's go nuts with the little squirrel. Ow, if you will, and oh dear, and then look sharp, and then the beaver. I just love this. Let's see what's on the other side. Now I'm going to have to cut this up. I'm going to put this on my design wall now and cut it up. Oh my gosh. But notice they have all this brown in here, which is what the Project Runway guy did. So, hey, ooh. Hey, ooh. How does my hair look? Oh, I noticed the other day when I filmed that, to pull the thing, it was like, did I brush the back of my head? If you've watched it, just ignore that, because I think I had my hair up in a scrunchie and I pulled it down and didn't, whatever. Anyway, sorry. I apparently need to be more conscious about that. But I love how many colors this goes with. This really pulls in. And what, I want to show you is something that we talked about last time. Look how this taupe can go with this sky blue. Look how this green can go with that. Then you've got your, grays. This pulls them all in. It definitely does. So, okay, so then let's take this away. We know that they can go because the artist said, yes, they can. And we believe artists. We believe them. They're super cute. You're going to see that one again. I'm glad I pulled it out. So look at this taupe. Look at this. This is a green color. Here's your gray. This is a kind of a greenish gray, so we'll put that over here. This is a darker taupe. Brown, but I just want to pull these with this sky. Now, doesn't that, this is that looks really interesting, guys. Especially not the grays so much. I'm not as attracted to the grays, I'll be honest. But this is rich looking to me. Very rich looking. let's see, I've got this kind of taupey. That's kind of got a bluish gray to it. Not loving it as much. I think it competes. This one may be okay. It's more blue. It's more blue. But that just, so I think we need to start comparing our sky blues with our, or any color that we're looking at. We need to start comparing them with kind of the taupes and the warms. So that's why I kind of pulled these and I've kept them kind of off to the side thinking we need to just keep looking at that. Look at that. That's really pretty. And that's the one that matches the best, don't you think? Maybe, well, here's a combination. Let's look at this blue. This to me is such a, I think, and totally my opinion, I think if you are using, and I truly believe that you do not categorize fabrics into, like 30s prints only belong in 30s prints quilts. Like, they look great if all you're using is 30s prints. They totally do. But hopefully you saw last week when I had the big, New York Beauty quilt that I was using 30s and modern and whatever in there. And so I think you have to look at it and go, it is this color, period. And what will go with this? Now, I don't think this color looks bad with this at all. It doesn't look horrible. Like, you could totally use this color with that. That being said, this print does argue with it. You know what I mean? Even though this color would be good with it, if you just use these two together, they would not be happy. They would argue with each other because this is really cheery and this is kind of like, no, let's calm it down. Just calm it down, simmer down, right? So I think that you kind of have to, that's the other level that the painter doesn't take into account. You know what I mean? Like, a painter who's painting a scene is not going to take that into account, kind of thing. Now this, I thought this was interesting. I'm going to set these over here. I thought this was interesting because I think that's close to sky blue. In fact, that may be more accurate than these two, really. There's a lot of blues. There's a lot of reds, too. I do not have a ton of blues in my stash, which... it's just I'm not as attractive to them, and so I don't buy them as often. They're not my side of the color wheel. I mean, I bought this probably because I love the red, being honest with you. But if you just look at that sky blue, you would know that blue goes with red, blue goes with green, blue goes with this neon pea green kind of thing. These are really bright greens. Now, this is a Christmas print stripe. It definitely is. It, it's got snowflakes in it and stuff. But it shows you that that blue goes with those. Kind of fun. I did find these blues. How are these? See, these are more blue. Sky's got more, it's a brighter. Maybe closer. This is from, who is it? Oh, does it have it on the edge? Riley Blake. Yeah, Riley Blake. And I'm pretty sure it's Anne of Green Gables. Like Prince. I loved those movies when I didn't read the books, which is weird because I'm a book reader. But I loved the Anne of Green Gables series in the, was it the 80s? In the 80s, 90s? On PBS. Oh my gosh, I loved them. And when they redid it on Netflix, like, I really had a hard time with that. I was like, that's not Anne. That's not her aunt. It just, and I'm sure the actors and actresses, but it wasn't the right Matthew for me. And I was just like, no, this isn't the right one. I can't handle it. But I've heard it was really good. I've heard other people like it. Which was funny because last night, Mike and I rented a movie on Vudu. And it was the Spider-Man, the newest Spider-Man Multiverse or something like that. And I have to admit, I've been pouting about, Tom Holland finally won me over as Spider-Man. But I've been pouting because Tobey Maguire was my Spider-Man. I mean, he was my Spider-Man. I love Tobey. And spoiler alert, there's stuff that happens. I don't want to tell you everything that happens because it's kind of a new movie. But spoiler alert, they honor the other Spider-Mans in it. So it's really good. And I loved it. I think it's my favorite Spider-Man now. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Especially if you've seen all the others. You know, we've seen them because my husband's kind of a Marvel. I like it too, though. I can't blame it all on him. I like Marvel too. So, every once in a while, I go to a big box store, like we all do. And I happen to walk by the fabric area in the big box store that starts with a W. And I will say that the other thing I enjoy doing that most people, that you may or may not know, is I enjoy cooking. I love cooking. I do. And I like reading new recipes, and I like watching cooking shows. And I have to admit, one of my favorite cooks on a cooking show is Reed Drummond she's the Pioneer Woman. And they had these cute little fat quarters. Look at this. For sale. And it had this with some, like, these blues in it that I was like, some of this has got to be sky blue. But I'm like, this would totally go with these. I fell in love with this little fat quarter pack. I haven't done anything with it. I know this is more tealy than sky blue, but I just think that those just show you how blue would go with any of these. Like if you didn't have enough of that looks darling together. Absolutely darling together. And even the teal looks good with that. So these are little fat quarters from that big box store. And how cute is that fabric? It's really cute. Now, I will say this. There is a difference in the gray goods, which is what fabric is called. It's called gray goods. Every piece of fabric is a gray good. And when they print fabric for different companies and different uses, they finish it differently. So like this fabric, which is beautiful, cute little fabric, is not as a high quality gray good as this fabric is, right? And the thing that makes it different is this is finished more. There's a difference in the cost of these two fabrics, and it's several dollars. Several dollars. This is, $12 to $13 a yard right now. This, I've seen fabric at Walmart for $4. Okay? Now, but I couldn't turn down these really cute prints. So there are cute stuff out there, and there's fabric for every budget. That being said, I know that this fabric, as cute as it is, isn't as high quality finished as this. So I'm judicious on where I use this. This is great. If I'm going to make a quilt for a cute little one, and I find cute fabric at a big box store, which I've done. I've totally done. My nephew got a quilt with Lightning McQueen on it when he was a kid because he was into cars. And I know that quilt is going to be washed 100 times and drugged. So I'm okay with that being used like that. Now, if I'm looking at maybe more, competition quilts, I'm investing in higher quality. But I'm just conscious about where I use it because I know this may fade faster. It may bleed faster. So like I'm using color catchers maybe more the first time I wash these, that kind of stuff. So just know everybody can use no matter what your budget, there is fabric out there for you, but it's more care, and there is a difference in the quality. There really is. So that being said, dang, this is cute fabric for $4, a yard. It's adorable fabric for $4 a yard. So, I'm not a fabric snob, just so you know. I mean, I do buy expensive fabric. I do buy expensive fabric, but whatever. Okay, so what else do I have over here? Oh, I thought this was really cute. I know you're going to be like, what is she thinking? Look at those. Aren't those pretty peaches, right? So I have bought this fabric online. I don't know if I've showed you all this yet. I've bought this fabric online from someone who was destashing their stash, and it was just adorable birds and writing. I'm a sucker for scripts. Like, if you write on fabric, I'm in. I'm in. And I love stamps. I don't know why I love stamps. I do love stamps. But this had some of that, I'm like, blue could go with this so easily. And then, of course, they had a panel. I love a good panel. And I was like, blue is just a part of this, even though there may not be. Oh, there's some blue. There we go. There we go, right here. Look at that. Look at that. So these are in the same collection. So, of course, they're going to go together. Like, they're totally going to go together because they're in the same collection. But this is not enough fabric for me to make a quilt. So what am I going to add with it? Well, isn't this an interesting combination, right? That is just adorable. I'm checking over here to see if there are any comments. That's just adorable. I love it, right? And, of course, it's got some of this blue in here. And so this is just going to marry with that just so well. Love it. This goes with it, right? I don't know that I hate, and I pulled the purple because there was some purple there. This is a really dark purple, though. I may be too dark for it. Too dark. Okay, so aren't those cute? And this is just a cute panel. Look at this cute panel. See, I'm a sucker for a good panel. You know what? I think I am, and I like the panels that you can cut up. I don't want just a panel of one thing. I like the panels of like an image that I can cut up, and I have 6 of those images. They all may be different, but there's 6 images. Because to me, that's like 6 blocks. Okay, so then, and this is, you've got to know that this is how my brain thinks. So I set up for myself challenges all the time. And I have to almost have that whole thought process of, I wonder if I can do this. I wonder if this will work. I wonder if, like for me, designing and quilting, the love of it is playing the I wonder if game. I'm not trying to make quilts to get them out the door and get them done and get them all those kinds of things. I am interested in the creative process all the time. Like for me, the creative process is far more fulfilling and interesting to me, and it all starts with, I wonder if I can do that. So that's how my brain thinks, and that's how I look at stuff. So panels have become a challenge to me where I go, okay, that's not like a standard block size. Now that I have this, I need to figure out how I can make something that goes with it. Because I want to change this to where you're not looking at it like, oh my gosh, that's a panel quilt. You know, because they get a bad rap. And yet some of the artistry in the panels themselves is gorgeous. I should just pull all my panel quilts that I've recently made and just show you all. Because it's just, I don't know, it's so fun. All right. And I bought another panel. This one has bikes on it. But look at all the blues. We're talking about sky blue, so don't think that I haven't forgotten about that. But look at all the blues. Now, these blues are definitely more tealy. They're definitely more tealy. But notice that the coordinating fabrics are definitely more sky blue. Right? So even the artist that designed these, which is just cute little, and this block was the reason I bought it. This block right here. So my grandparents owned a flower shop. So anytime I see stuff about flower shops, I'm just like, oh, those are just attractive to me because of that. So yeah, my grandparents owned a flower shop, and I rode bikes as a kid. I didn't have a polka dot bike though. That would have been cool. I think mine was purple. Did you have, I'm sure every had. Do you remember what color your bike was when you were a kid? Mine was purple, and it had a banana seat. I remember that was cool when we were riding bikes. And we rode our bikes everywhere, except we were told not to cross Main Street. So there you go. But look, all these blues. These are going to go with this. No problem. No problem. Absolutely no problem. Maybe not the pattern of it or the... Although this is cute. It's got motorcycle and boats and robots. Footballs. Nothing wrong with that. And actually, if you look at... Where's that other... Oh, there it is. That'll go with it as well. Look. So these blues all go together. Why? They're the same. They're in the same family. So they're always going to go together because you just have to use enough of them. If you narrow it down, and I think the quilt behind me is a perfect example of that. If you narrow it down to just one print, then you have to stay with that print. If you use lots of prints in that color way and they don't exactly match, they can still totally get away with it. So isn't this cute? Like I did just buy. Now these, I don't know how old these are, or this is Henry Glass fabric. I bought it off a, you know, the online marketplaces where they de-stash stuff. That's where I bought it off of. So that's where all these came. And, you know, it was just kind of one, I'll take that. But aren't they cute? So I need to make a bird quilt now and a bike quilt. And this was a part of, I think that, and then look, I think, you know, the cute little blue and pink always go together. Those are always going to go together. Absolutely, always going to go together. And that's cute. Blue and pink. And that was color of the year, like, I don't know, I want to say 2017, where, it was Pantone released the color of the year, and there was two colors, and it was a blue and a pink. I think it was Pantone. Oh, I did want to show you. So this is maybe a better picture of what you're seeing behind me. This is a crazy modern quilt pattern that I wrote for the stitch when we were doing the stitch. And you can see, and I turned it sideways compared to this picture, so it's kind of turned like this, that this right here is those sky blues. So these, it's just a hint of sky blue, but it goes with the teals and the navy blues and these greens and these pinks. And it kind of all blends that all together, but there is sky blue right there. So this pattern is what we call foundation piece, where you take muslin and you piece on that, you string piece on it kind of thing. And it was really fun to write. I loved this. Hung at our booth in Houston, and I think it hung at it's hung several different places. So it's been a very successful quilt for me, and I love it. The other thing I wanted to show you that's kind of in a package, I think I showed you guys this the other day, but here's this Tula Pink ribbons from Renaissance Ribbons. And notice it has that sky blue in it as well, kind of. So you can see where Tula uses pink and orange and green and teal. And all of these colors, you know, go with this ribbon. And I don't remember what fabric line this was from. Does it say? I think it just says vintage. So these are several ribbons in, I think, different fabric lines of hers, actually. But I just thought that was really interesting that you had this beautiful sky blue, and it's the background that you're seeing against these pink and oranges and stuff. And guess what? Those are not on the same side of the color wheel, but pink and blue always go together. They just do. Pink and blue go together. Just like red and blue go together. I don't think you're going to go wrong with any of those. Absolutely not. Now, I thought this was the coolest thing ever. And I want to show it to you. And where did I put it? Here it is. Okay. So, it's not just me. I'm going to set this aside because I'm bringing these back. It's not just me who talks about color wheels. So I'm attracted to this topic, so I go around and look for things that are going to, give me more information about this, right? So what I thought was interesting, well, let me turn it this way maybe. So it's not upside down. It looks upside down. So this is a painter, and his name is, Burridge. Robert Burridge is his name. And this is his paint. This is his paint philosophy to make good paintings that he sells, okay? And when he goes and teaches his painting techniques, he teaches this philosophy. And so this is a color wheel, and he says if your dominant color is blue, then you're going to have 2 spice colors and a focal point color. So if blue is your dominant color, directly across from that, he says red, yellow, which I'm looking at going, that's orange, which if we looked at any of our other color wheels, which aren't close to me, this would be complementary, which is the highest contrast. So he's saying that these 2 colors are going to catch your eye faster than any other. And that's true. If you make a blue and orange quilt, it's going to catch your eye because those are complementary covers, but they're high contrast, right? So they are going to bump up against each other the most. But he said what adds interest is if you use the spice colors. So if you use a purple red and a yellow green or green yellow, those are going to be your spice colors with these 2. And that will have an interesting... Now, someone gave me this and said, I think you'd be interested. It's a friend of mine. She's a painter. And she's taking classes from... I think she's taking classes from this man. And she goes, this will just add to your... So it's from a painter's perspective, right? And I'm trying to show you a fabric perspective. But let's take that into consideration. So let's set that over here, and then let's look at what we're looking at. So if I'm taking a blue, and this is a green blue, but it's a blue, and I could use a regular blue in here too. And I'm going to put yellow, green. This is a gray. This is a background thing. And I'm going to use my purple, like purple red, right? And I don't even think I've shown you all this on, oops, I'm trying to get it. I don't think I've shown you this on Stitch yet. Maybe. I've been taking pictures of it, but this is a quilt I just finished, y'all. Well, it's not quilted yet. I have the backing. So I have the backing, right? So, look at this. Look, I'm so excited about this quilt. I love it. I'm seeing if there's anybody on. So what I think's interesting about this quilt is I kind of followed his thing. So there's blue in here. Now mine's probably more this, kind of thing. Maybe a little. But there's blue. Then we have this green, yellow, right? And then we have this purple, red, right? So these all work together. So so let me talk about the inspiration for this quilt. One, part of my getting back to quilting has been just sewing. Like sometimes you just want to sew, right? You just want to sew. So part of that was I found this cute little mini charm square pack, and I decided I wanted to make little bitty flying geese. So you'll notice these are all flying geese patterns. And again, I went to some big box store that starts with a W, and I bought this Paris fabric because I don't know, I like Paris fabric. I think Paris fabric's really cool, and I liked the artwork on this. I just bought a fat quarter. I didn't buy very much. No, it may have been a yard. I just bought a yard. I didn't buy very much. And it, again, was very inexpensive. And I found this yellow, and I thought that went with it. And I first thought, I'm just going to make napkins because it doesn't matter how I wash them, and who cares? People are wiping their face with them. You know, I'm not going to spend $13 a yard to make napkins with people wiping their face on. So, you know, that's a great place to go look for that kind of stuff. And again, I'm very judicious about how I, you know, spend my money on fabric. So anyway, I found this fabric. I'd made all these little flying geese, which, by the way, are 1/2 inch by 1 inch. Because I'm crazy. And so there's 180 something of these little flying geese. Right? But look how it follows kind of what this guy's saying, in that I'm using blue, I'm using pink, I'm using the green yellow, I'm using the purple red, and it all works together. Oh, and I was playing with Studio 180 ruler. And this is not the way she teaches you to do it, because I was playing with this and I didn't do it very well. Like, I didn't succeed in what I was trying to do, but I was playing. So there was a what if factor. So if I'm playing with stuff and I'm just like trying to mess around to see if it will do what I want to do. Like, for example, I was using her rulers to make flying geese, and I was like, how small can I make? Can I make this mini charm pack? Can I make flying geese out of it? That was my what if. And apparently you can. And they are really little, and they're super cute, and they take forever to cut and trim down. So just recognize that if you try it. It's kind of crazy. But I just felt like this worked out, and it does have your blue in it, little hints, little teeny tiny hints of blue from that charm pack. The center of the body of the geese are the charm pack. And it was the 2.5 inch one, so it was like, so there's 180 something little flying geese that I put in here that I had to figure out, because it didn't make enough to go all the way around. So I had to use a piece of the background fabric. Now I'm not done with this because I feel like it needs writing or something on it. So I may do a, I don't know, crick cut saying or something in French, but I haven't decided what that's going to be. So anyway, this is just me playing around. Isn't that fun? And I think it even though the blue is not the star of the show, it's not the star of the show, it does have all of these other colors that live with it that make it happy. And I think the blue adds to it too. So there's that. And I'm never, you know, unless somebody tells me, see, I've got it, and I've got it sandwiched because I'm going to quilt it like on my domestic, not on my long arm. So, but isn't that cute? And this was not expensive fabric. And because it's going to hang on a wall or be some kind of table mat or something, however I decide to use it, it's okay that it's less expensive fabric. So just, you know, hopefully I haven't harped on that too much. But anyway. All right, so let's look at our blues with our beautiful black and whites that we look at every week, because the black and whites are cool. And I think they make interesting stuff. So throw that down there, throw that down there, throw that down there. Okay, blues. That's gorgeous. That is just gorgeous. A solid. Now, I don't like that as much because the print is arguing with me. But I'm telling you, that solid with these, like, you're done. That's a gorgeous quilt right there. I don't hate that either. Do not at all. Actually, one of my very, very favorite quilts that I've ever seen, friend of mine made, and she took this color blue as the background, so kind of a sky blue, and she did appliqued flowers that were in black and whites like this on top of it. It was one of the most striking quilts. It's just stunning. It's a stunning quilt. And she's a blue fan, so almost every quilt she makes has blue in it, just like almost every quilt I make has orange. So I think you're going to be better at quilts when you're attracted to the colors. So I'm just trying to get you out of the box to be attracted to all the colors, but we all have our favorites. You know, we all have our favorites. So the only other ones I brought in here, and this was kind of more along the line of that. So here's the oranges. Here's the greens, and these are the purples. And can you put blue with that? And the answer is yes. It'll go with all those. I love it. I love it. I love it. But, you know this color combination is one of my favorites. Like, this is, I live in this. Like, this makes me very happy, this color combination. And if you looked at the New York Beauty quilt, it's exactly this. Like, it's exactly this color combination. So, anyway. All right. Oh, my gosh. That was crazy. Look at all this blue. All right, so what I've learned is I probably should use blue more. I need to add blue to my stash, maybe. Maybe. I think I like looking at the colors in just, I like talking them through just from the standpoint of it's, it's just got a lot of information. And it makes me think about, all right, oh yeah, I remember that quilt with, like I'll put this in the corner. I remember, oh wait, it doesn't do that. I remember the quilt with the black and whites, and how that looked together and, all that kind of stuff. So, and I just talked to her yesterday. I just talked to my friend yesterday. And she is 88. And she is one of the neatest ladies I know. Absolutely. All right. So next week we are going to draw another crayon. And I have no idea what we're going to do. But we got a lot of good colors left. So think that will be interesting. And we'll see if I have it, the color of my stash. I did struggle with this because you can see I don't have a lot of blue. And I felt like, and I hope you didn't think this, but I felt like maybe we had a tendency to make this a juvenile color. And I don't think it's a juvenile color. I don't think any color is one type of color. You know what I mean? I think it can be used in adult quilts and kid quilts and guy quilts and girl quilts and all the quilts. Like, I don't think any color can be pigeonholed. I think it's just what you put with it and especially in fabric and what's printed on the fabric and all that kind of stuff can lend itself to maybe one or a type or something. But I just don't like pigeonholing it. And I will say this totally, that I do think, and maybe this is my design aesthetic, I like all the colors together. I like all the fabrics together. I like a busy quilt. I don't think everybody likes a busy quilt, and those people like modern quilts a lot. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think modern quilts are gorgeous. I just like a good busy quilt. I like looking at all the stuff and then getting closer and looking at more stuff. And so I think that's part of what this is showing me too. Like this exercise of going through all the crayons and the colors, I think I'm going, I like all the fabrics together, so that's who I am. And that's okay. And if you don't like it, that's okay too. There's no problem. So, I don't see any more questions. I probably should let you know I was going live earlier. So if you're seeing this replay, please enjoy. And if you have questions, comment, and I will definitely look at those and answer those. But I will talk to you probably Tuesday. And, no, I probably won't talk to you Tuesday. Maybe I will. I'll have to think about it. I have to be out of town, so that may throw a wrench in it. But I will figure all that out. And, again, I will, so join me when we do the next color thing. And be sure to like the Cotton Art Studio channel, subscribe to it if you haven't subscribed to it, and please share with your friends, especially if they're quilters and they have questions about color and all that kind of stuff. So Be sure and have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.